Texas, fighting out of Kentucky. The host of Fights and Fragz, PTP Tega.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of Fights and Fragz, and we are literally less than a day away. The day that this goes up, the fights are going to be happening. That's right, UFC 318. This is dripping legacy and storylines and bad blood, and it's going to come down to, I wouldn't call it a rivalry, but what I consider a pretty good story, if you will. Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus Max Blessed Holloway 3. It's going to be awesome. This card's stacked from top to bottom. And I'm going to break it all down. We got to talk about Paulo Costa's bizarre, shaky moment at the press conference, the unbelievable activity of Kevin Holland, and the prelim grudge match that has already seen fists fly outside of the cage. So let's get right into it. Before we even touch on the main card, there's a fight on the prelims you absolutely cannot miss. It's a top 10 middleweight clash between the Italian Dream, Marvin Vettori, and Brendan Allen. Can't say his name for some reason, but these two guys legitimately dislike each other. If you guys don't know the story, here's the story. There's a viral video that's online. There's a clip of these two getting into it at the UFC PI. Maybe it's a hotel, but it looks like it's the UFC PI, but there's something where they're all together. It may even be a casino of some sort. I'm not really sure the exact location, but if you watch it, there's a lot of these guys that they're fighting, they're pushing. This isn't a manufactured hype. These guys actually don't like each other. Somebody told me this was from a PFL clip, but I'm not really sure. Either way, these guys don't like each other. This is going to be an actual fight. My boy Vettori, he's got a brash forward pressure style and mindset, whereas Allen's kind of got that, he ain't going to talk crap. He's going to prove it to you, but he's going to definitely want to take it to the ground. I think that truthfully, Vettori's going to push this fight, and as long as he doesn't get taken down and he can keep the fight on the feet, Vettori's going to be the man. I mean, in the matchup, if you look at Vettori, he's got that granite chin. He's not getting dropped. It's going to take a crazy striker. He's got good wrestling pressure if it does come down to the ground. Once again, we go back to the solid boxing fundamentals. He's been known to strike. He can knock the best out. And his cardio, man, like I said, he's just a machine in the sense of he can take punishment and just keep going. So I do think that that's going to be his pluses. Allen's going to have the issue of, or he's going to have the perks, I should say, of elite submission. He's probably one of the most dangerous Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners in the division, if you ask me. His striking is definitely improving, and his path to victory is going to be just taking this guy down and holding down Vettori at the end of the day. Now, the issue is whose wrestling is going to be better. Can Allen get the durable Vettori down to the ground? I don't know. Or is Vettori's troll-like pressure, concrete head, going to be too much for Allen on the feet? And I do agree. I think Allen's going to want to get this to the ground. I think Vettori's going to keep it standing up. So as long as Vettori doesn't get taken down and he can at least just smash that takedown attempts, Vettori's going to walk away from this one victorious. That's my call. Kicking off the pay-per-view, we have a classic lightweight scrap between veteran Michael the Menace Johnson and the prospect Ignacio El Loco Zellhuber. This is kind of a crossroads fight, if you really want to ask me. Michael Johnson, he's a guy who holds wins over Dustin Poirier, the best striker in the division, or arguably one of the best strikers in his division. and he owns a win over Tony Ferguson. He has some of the fastest hands in the division, but inconsistency has been his issue. This is going to be a huge test to see what he's got left in the tank. If he's at the end of his career, this is a test for himself, just kind of to see where he's at in his career, I think, and he can really do a self look at. Once again, you can't really name too many bad Michael Johnson fights. So, and now we got my man Manuel, whatever you want to call him, Key Zellhuber. He's the young man, the young guy. He's a product of the Contender Series. He's long. He's really tall for this division. And he has shown a lot of toughness and potential. A win over somebody like Michael Johnson puts him on the map. Definitely moves him up in the rankings. Puts eyes on him is what I'm going to say. People are going to start looking out. The keys to victory in this situation is Johnson's going to need a fast start. He's going to want to kind of keep that pressure on Zellhuber. However, Zellhuber needs to be worried and kind of I wouldn't say worried, but cautious. He needs to weather the early storm and use his range and get the grappling going. You can get that grappling going, no problems. You're gonna keep it. You're gonna get that winning. You're gonna get that win. So I think I got Manuel Zellhuber on this, just based off of the youth factor on this one. So that's my call on that one. Next up, the man who never says no. Mr. Anytime, Anywhere. The Trailblazer, Kevin Holland. This is, and it's really not an exaggeration, Kevin Holland's 5th fight of 2025. We are barely in the back half of the year, and this man's just killing it. He's a machine. Is he superhuman or is he reckless? That goes on to be seen. People who are doing these fights and they take too many fights on, in a year, their body's not recovering. Maybe they're pushing themselves too hard. But perhaps Kevin Holland's just truly a badass dude, He just keeps on. This right here is going to be a great fight for the casuals, for the stand-and bangs, for people who like Kevin Holland. Myself, I'm going to love this fight because the matchup itself's a fan-friendly stand-and-bang fight, essentially. Kevin Holland, he's unorthodox. He's going to deliver in long volume. He's got that long-range striking. He can get in and get out. He can cover so much distance is pretty much what I'm trying to say. And he's always talking. When he's beating you up, he's letting you know he's beating you up. He's just one of those, to me, like a star in the UFC that they're utilizing correctly now. Now, on the other hand, we got Daniel Rodriguez, a.k.a. D-Rod, the exact opposite. He's all fundamentals, man. He's a crisp, hard boxing style. He's got a granite chin. He's going to stand in there and bang with you. He's relentless. He's got that forward pressure. He's not out here, doing moves on you or talking that crap. He's going to just let his work in the ring show you what he's doing. And he's just equally as effective and tough as Kevin Holland. So now we kind of need to ask, can Kevin Holland's wild style and activity level overcome the pure rugged boxing of D-Rod? I think he could. I think that Kevin Holland's going to get another win here. He's just so unorthodox. And he's just kind of been, he's living it up right now. They're giving him a lot of money for these fights, and he's just been, as long as he keeps winning, he's going to keep getting it up. My money's going to be on Kevin Holland. And the next question is does fighting this often eventually catch up to you? I think it does. I think your body is going to break down after so much pushing. However, I'm not an athlete like these guys, so what do I know? Alrighty, let's get to the co-main event, and frankly, the most talked about moment from Fight Week. Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. Here's the scene. We're at the press conference, right? A reporter asked Paulo Costa about the lingering issues from the Khamzat Chimaev fight. And what happens next is kind of uncomfortable. Costa's hands were shaking. His whole body seemed to me, it was almost like he was seizing, but his whole body was shaking. He was trembling as if when he was holding the microphone. He looked very stressed and very, like he wasn't all there. It was a very interesting scene. And unfortunately to me, this is the story of the fight. This isn't even his opponent. It just happens to be his opponent, right? This isn't even about the fight. This is just a weird scene to have witnessed. There's a couple of speculations. Theory one is it's just a weight cut from hell. It's the most logical and likely explanation is that he's just at the bottom of his weight cut. He's a huge middleweight, big boy. He's probably dehydrated and depleted of all of his nutrients. And they kind of asked him at the moment where like his body was going through it. And it's kind of what you see behind the scenes. You don't usually see this in the front and center. This is the bad side of the fights, right? Is the weight cuts. We've seen before, Conor McGregor when he did the weigh-in and he was nothing but skull and bones. I'm pretty sure that was when he was fighting Aldo. I'm almost sure. But we've seen people come in and they look like death on the scale. And this could just be the press conference version of that where he's fighting no weight because, like I said, he's had weight issues in the past. And theory number two, which is what I've seen also around the internet, which surely not, is people think it's drugs or stress. This is MMA, and the internet's going to do what it does, and we're going to start whispering different things. Some are saying he's coming off a cycle. A lot of people are saying that's not a weight cut shake. It's something else. I don't think that's what it is. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But I do want to be honest and let people know, at least address the cloud of suspicion that this whole thing is created. Or is it the stress of the weight cut combined with other supplements? Is it just the pure physical depletion? And it actually raises questions about his condition heading into this fight. Another part that I want to mention that I didn't get put in my notes before this is I just watched, this is Friday, the night before the fight, and I had watched the weigh-ins, and even Paulo Costa, the weigh-ins, something just seemed off. So, I don't know. I like Paulo Costa. I'd hate to see him get dropped again, but all this in consideration isn't good. I know that they said Khamzat may have messaged, it was either Sean Strickland or Khamzat. I don't remember which one they said it was. I thought it was Sean Strickland, but at the weigh-in this morning they said Khamzat, but they said that one of them messaged Paulo's wife or girlfriend and was pretty much just saying that Paulo's not a man. And I guess other things. And that could have been why he was upset as well. Maybe Brazilians take that a little bit more harshly. And so it was like, I don't know. We're just addressing the rumors. It was a very interesting moment. It could have just been nothing but a weight cut. But the fight itself, through all the drama that we just covered, Paulo has to face a stone cold killer in Roman Kopylov. Kopylov is on a tear with nasty body kicks and a legitimate one punch knockout power. If Costa is even 10% compromised from this cut or whatever's going on, be it mental or anything, Kopylov has the power to shut out Costa's lights. And Costa has had a couple of slides before in MMA where he's been losing back to back. We might see that again. We might be seeing the end of Costa here. And my money's going to go on Kopylov because Costa is not looking good. And now for the main event of the evening, a legacy trilogy fight. The gentleman from Louisiana, Dustin, the Diamond Poirier, runs it back one final time with the Hawaiian King, blessed Max Holloway. Let's go back in time here. Take a look back to fight one at UFC 143. A lifetime ago in 2012, featherweights. Poirier, the bigger, stronger guy, faces Max Holloway in his first ever fight. Max's first fight. And he gets a quick submission. They were just kids. A little bit further into the future, UFC 236. The 5-round war for the interim lightweight title. An absolute classic. Poirier's power at 155 was the story, rocking Max multiple times, but Max's legendary chin and insane volume made it a fight of the year contender. Here we are now. What is the story? Poirier's path looking a little iffy. Where's his mentality? Poirier's fought for the title. He's rich. He's a legend. What's his motivation? Is this actually his final run? His boxing's cleaner than it's ever been, and his power's still amazing. Holloway's path is he's still the volume king. After some tough losses, he's looked better than ever. But in this move right here, back up to 155, is it a good decision? Has he put on the necessary muscle to handle the power, or will we see a repeat of fight 2? Poirier's keys to victory is use the power of boxing. Attack the legs also with calf kicks early to slow down Holloway, and don't get drawn into a slugfest with the volume king of Max Holloway. Holloway's keys to victory to be to use his footwork and angle, strike quickly, attack the body to drain Dustin Poirier's gas tank, and use his legendary cardio to take rounds 3, 4, and 5. Now, strictly to what I think is going to happen. I think, based on what I've seen in the weigh-ins this morning, and from his conference or what he said, I do think that Dustin Poirier is going to stop Max Holloway. He has said that him and Max have made an agreement to make this one to remember, like their second fight, that they can look back on it and know that they have really left it out there. So I think it's going to be reminiscent of the Justin Gaethje Max Holloway fight. They're going to leave it in the ring and somebody's going to sleep. I just don't think Max Holloway is going to be big enough, even with the extra weight, to take on Dustin Poirier, who is just looking like a pit bull. It is what it is. So I think Dustin Poirier drops Max Holloway and finishes him. And that is our official breakdown for what promises to be an unforgettable night of fights at the UFC 318. Poirier versus Holloway 3. It's for all the marbles, all the legacy. I want to know what you think. Who takes the trilogy? Does Costa's condition affect his fight? Drop your predictions in the comments section of the YouTube channel, or hit me up on my social. It's going to be at PTBTega or at Billy Wavo, depending on where I'm at. Just leave it on the YouTube. That works too. Make sure you subscribe to Fights and Fragz on Spotify and on YouTube so you never miss a breakdown or recap. I live for this stuff, and I love chopping it up with anybody who also lives for it. It's really all the time I have. It's all the content I have. I will be back early next week to react to all the knockout submissions and wild moments from the fight and any news that is broke regarding fights that I'm interested in. Until then, stay safe and enjoy the fights and keep your guard up. Later, guys.